Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, first we had the pandemic, and now we have another pandemic. It's a pandemic of mental health issues. We'll be talking to two people who are at the forefront of that fight next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, if there's anything good that came from the pandemic, and not a lot good came from the pandemic, it's that we've gotten out in the open that mental health is a real problem across the globe. And, years ago, if you were in law enforcement or firefighting, you wouldn't dream of telling anybody that you had a mental health issue because they'd take you off the street. Now, even our, first responders are being brave enough to say, I'm wrestling with something, and they have someone to talk to. Two people who are at the forefront of this fight are in studio right now, Brown and Chris Wyco. They're both with Wild Hub. Thanks for coming on the show, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us here.
Chris, let's start with you. What is Wild Hub?
So the WILD, it's actually an acronym for World Inspiring Leader and Dream Builders. So it has been always my dream to put this nonprofit organization to focus on mental health. And it's a universal language, but this is the less word spoken, especially for high peak performers. So when we say high peak performers, these are our executives, doctors, business entrepreneurs. But nobody is exempt from any type of anxiety, depression. You don't need to be clinically diagnosed. But what the Wild Hub would like to do is more like a proactive approach that focus on 3 pillars in terms of the resource, education, research, education, and advocacy. Mm-hmm. We want to be that voice because we experience it personally on our journey.
And Terry, you're an important part of this effort. You have a very successful marketing firm. You guys had a soft launch. How did that go?
Oh, it was incredible. We had really good feedback from some of the doctors and other entrepreneurs that were there, and they even thanked us for doing it. So that was kind of like a confirmation for what we were doing for the community.
Absolutely. And you both have a personal story that goes along with this. Let's start with you, Chris.
Yes, way back, I'm from the Philippines. Now I'm running an accounting and wealth planning company. I grew up in not a perfect family. My dad was alcoholic, and I have a twin brother that we've been beaten up since 4 years old, verbally, mentally, physically. Because, there's no enough education and resources because insurance we don't have there. So as early as 4, I almost died because my dad, when he got home almost every night, he used us as a punching bag. But then I started to realize that life is hard and I have to do something about it. But it gets harder when the abuse is coming from your own family. So what I did when at 4 years old, I said I have to do something. So that's why I started selling. I started to be out there because I started to see my value and then some kind of validation that I am more than what I had in the family, like as a son and as a student. But then since I have my twin brother, we kind of have an opposite coping mechanism. I'm more like an extrovert where I go and talk to people that have businesses. How did they do it? So it gives me more that kind of diversion. That during the day after school, I sold a lot of things. And then when people said, oh, you're a good salesman or you're good at this, so I would realize that I am more than what I have at home. However, my twin brother, he becomes suffocated and he didn't see that there's a world out there. And then being beaten almost every night by my dad, because we also don't want to say everything that what's happening to my mom because she also worked a lot in the hospital. And then my twin brother started to have lose sight of reality, that he started to have manifestation of talking to himself and depression, anxiety. Then now at the age of 14 years old, he was diagnosed as manic depressive stage 4 schizo and with paranoia. So that was the time that I had to do something financially to help. So that's the whole epitome of why am I doing this as of the moment.
Wow. Well, and thank you for having the courage to share that story. And Chris, I know you, Terry, you have a story as well.
Yeah, I mean, I lost my mother at 16 to cancer. And so I think, even creating a space where, learning how to deal with grief when you have like no real instructions, it's really hard, right? And then also, as you're growing and learning, especially if you take the road of entrepreneurship, so running the company, doing all this stuff, I mean, it's hard for a lot of like people like me and I'm sure a lot of executive people who are running companies, having to manage people, having to really figure out, how to grow and build things every day. But then you also have to deal with, am I okay? Am I just running? Am I making sure that I'm taking care of my own mental health? And so when me and Chris actually met, both of us, entrepreneurs, high functioning people, and listening to his story and sharing my story and also talking to a lot of other people, we were like, yeah, we have to create this. And especially being a male, right? So, being a male and not being able to have a space where you can feel like you can talk about it, even though, there are spaces that exist, but then the societal, pressures of being a man, not wanting to appear weak or all these things. So.
Well, and your organization is amazing, and you created a great promo video. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Mental health affects us all, yet it often goes unnoticed. Every day, countless individuals struggle in silence, battling feelings of isolation, anxiety, and despair. At Wild Hub, we believe it's time to change that narrative. Our Synergy 2025 Gala is not just an event. It's a movement to shine a light on mental health awareness and its profound impact on our communities. Imagine a world where everyone feels supported, where conversations about mental health are as common as discussions about physical health. Together, we can create that world. Your support can help us provide vital resources, education, and outreach programs that empower individuals to seek help and foster understanding. Every dollar you contribute goes directly to initiatives that transform lives. We're not just raising funds. We're building a community that prioritizes wellness and compassion. Join us in this mission. Let's break the stigma, uplift those in need, and ensure that mental health is a priority for everyone. Together, we can make a difference. Your generosity can help us turn awareness into action. Let's transform tomorrow's wellness, one heart at a time.
Okay, so let's talk about this. You hold an annual event. What can people experience at the event?
The event is we're aiming in August 23. I think that's Friday or Saturday. We're coordinating with the Constellation Club or the Tower Club. We're expecting the synergy of different professionals and executive leaders like doctors, also business owners, people in the corporate world where we could gather there. And also it's a fundraising gala. And then what we're hoping is to provide more resources. For example, like in the Philippines, they're reaching out to us, the Rotary, that they need a suicide hotline. Or even here on our own backyard in Dallas, where people, they don't know who to talk to. Because when I moved here less than a year, I suffered a lot of depression because I don't know where to start. And that's why I called the suicide hotline, and then they refer me to a business resource group. So through that, I'd like us to focus that we are not alone. You're not alone, he's not alone, but together we can empower each other. Absolutely. And it's okay not to be okay sometimes, but what's not okay is to hide it. And just because a lot of people, they don't want to talk about it because they felt ashamed. They felt that they're the weakest link in the family. They don't talk to their family members because they don't want them to worry. But it's about time. You don't need to get diagnosed. You just have to be proactive and acknowledge, but most importantly is accept and then find the right person.
Terry, you want to give a shout out to any of the partners and sponsors who've come alongside? And I'm sure you're looking for more.
No, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up. We want to just thank everybody that came out to our soft launch. Thank you guys. Thank you for all your support. We're also looking for, foundations and organizations that want to get involved to, just grow the narrative of what we're trying to do. And then, of course, we're also looking for, nonprofits that we're going to donate to. I know Chris has some cancer foundations that he's thinking about as well. And then just some other mental health organizations like the Suicide Hotline and NAMA. And so we're just trying to really focus on, partner with people in the community and growing this thing as much as we can.
And Chris, it probably helps as therapy for your own journey, your mental health journey, to be helping others.
Exactly. It's sometimes I always mention to myself that I cannot change my past. I cannot change my whole experience. But what I can do today is to change today and tomorrow's perspective of other family and other community in Dallas, because it's a pay it forward approach. I always look on the bright side of things. I think if I did not experience the hardship of life, I did not see the opportunities of being here. So that's the reason why it's a continuous advocacy. And one thing I believe that mental health, it's a continuous journey. No matter where whether you're a zero or a hero, you always have that continuous balance. It's all about balance, and it's all about empowering the community through one advocacy.
Outstanding. I went on your Instagram page. Let's go ahead and pull that up and slowly scroll down the page. Why don't you point out what are some of the things that we're seeing here?
Yeah, I want to just say thank you to CUTX for allowing us this space to create that. But that's some of the people that came out to join us. We had some great food, so shout out to that. As you see, our marketing company, I love that. And then the banner there. And just some great people in the room, honestly. I mean, we had a fantastic time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In the 2 minutes that we have left, why don't you both say something about why it's so important, if you're struggling with something like that, you have to find a community like the one that you're building. Chris, you want to start?
Yeah, actually, what's common denominator, maybe 7 out of 10 people that I spoke to, whether they're doctors, lawyers, accountants, CPAs, they know somebody that committed suicide. And it's very alarming, because even in the Philippines, the rate of suicide is getting higher among teenagers.
Wow.
And that's what we were saying. These are the things that we have to battle more than what we do in a day-to-day basis. Being an advocate, offering a mental health first aid certification to this, that we can bring the resources. Even you don't have the tool, even you don't have the financial needs, but what we want you to know is we are here. Talk to you, to support, or maybe to guide you to the right resources. So together we can, and this is not an alone project, this is together project.
All right, Terry, we're going to give you the final word.
Yeah, I just want to let people know that, community is everything. And, it's the one thing that changed my life. Having great friends, having people that I can talk to. Community is just super powerful. And I want people to know you are not alone. It doesn't matter if you're at the top of the chain, or I don't believe in the bottom of the chain. I think everybody plays an important role. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you're a C-suite or an employee. The power of just making sure you take care of yourself and your mental health. And it's okay not to be okay. And that's really, really what we're promoting here. You're not alone. We've been there. We're all going through something, and I think we just want to create a safe space for everybody.
Thank you both for sharing your story with us. We're going to end with the Instagram page so you can get in touch with them and follow them. Wild Hub is the Instagram page, Wild Hub Inc. Thanks for coming on the show, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.